Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk. But if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid. And on this Before the Bid, we have a return guest and a guy that we talked for hours getting the last one ready, and I enjoyed that so much. And we talked for hours even after that one, after we hit the stop button on this thing. And just what a great guy that I've enjoyed talking to. And they had a successful sale last year, last spring. They had 2 sales that we covered, and so they've got another one coming up here on Angus Live on December 7th. And on this edition, I am talking to John Davis at Diamond T Land and Cattle. And you may also remember that John Davis, as soon as he got out of college, he started at Champion Hill under Paul Hill right there in Bidwell, Ohio. And actually, he stayed there on some of the same farms that Champion Hill ran when he started Diamond, or is now part of Diamond T. And so I'm going to let him tell you about that just a bit here. And John, I want to welcome you back, and man, sure have had a lot of fun getting this one ready, and interested to hear some of these stories that you've got for us this time.
Oh, well, thanks, Andy. It's always a pleasure to get to talk to you and get to visit. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to visiting about some of these cattle that we're getting ready to offer up for sale here December 7th.
I want to hear a little more about them. I know some pedigrees and things. And guys, this is a set of cattle that you do not want to miss. And all I know is the pedigrees and things. I haven't seen any pictures of them. John, man, I wish we could have got to talk all summer this summer, but I think we were at one show together, and when we saw each other, it wasn't the greatest time. wasn't the greatest time to stand around and talk right there during the show. So down there in the
Right.
Eastern Regionals.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we're lucky that with everything going on in the country right now, that we were able to have some of those shows.
Right.
And we enjoyed ourselves at the Eastern Regional. Really happy that we got to go down there and experience that. It's all about getting out and seeing people and visiting with people, and just getting out there and getting your cattle out, getting people able to see your cattle in person, and but most importantly, visit with them.
Right.
We were just so fortunate that we were able to, and instead of going to Pennsylvania this year, we got to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
Wow, the ladies in charge of that, hats off to them, Jacqueline and Madeline and Caitlin, their whole crew there at American Angus Association. They did a fantastic job in really making that happen for us,
Right.
making it happen for the kids.
And what a change that was, as far as
Yeah,
location and everything, and did it pretty quick.
yeah, fantastic turnover rate there. That they had to get a lot of things done fast. And, we've learned a lot from, this new way of life, or trying to get back to our old way of life, or whatever. We've learned a lot that these the agriculture people are just resilient
Right.
and determined, and there's not a set of more hard-headed people out there.
For the good
and
and bad,
as
yes.
No, yeah, that's right, for the good and bad. And by gosh, these kids, they've worked so hard with their projects, whether it's your cow, or whether it's a steer, pig, goat, lamb, whatever it is that they're showing. We had people throughout the industry that if if they didn't have the state fair or whatever in your particular state, you know, a lot of people stepped in and made some things happen. The crew there Well, here in the state of Ohio, the crew behind Stephanie Sindel and some of those folks that put on the OYLE as like the state fair replacement show, they just did a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just so grateful that they were able to have an event such as that. Well, we just got back from the North American, and uh, so grateful that we were able to have the North American.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I hate that, Denver and Fort Worth are canceled for all those people that regularly attend those events, and use that for a point of marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
a point of just getting out and visiting with people, and showcasing their livestock. I'm glad that the whole crew at the North American really pulled through and made that happen.
Yeah, that was great. Had
Yeah,
some hoops to jump through to get it going, and I'm sure some of these here, especially in the near future, are going to have some more hoops to jump through to try to get those going. But sure are glad that they did that. So.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I didn't
And
get to talk to you on the junior nationals, going from where you guys are over in Ohio, and you were going to go to Pennsylvania, and then they changed it and they went to Tulsa. That was a pretty big mileage change and hours change for you guys.
it was, but luckily my parents, they live over in Southern Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to go and lay over at their place.
Mm-hmm.
And my kids, they always like to go see their grandma and grandpa, and grandma and grandpa really like for them to come see them.
Right.
So it worked out fine. And luckily, 2020 was not quite as hot as 2015 in Tulsa.
Oh my gosh.
They there were
How
people
how
down
was it not hotter?
there were people in Tulsa this summer, and they're like, "Man, it's hot.
Phew.
It's 107 degrees." And I'm like, "You haven't seen anything. You should
Uh,
have been here 5 years ago when the heat index was 118."
no way. No thanks.
Oh, that was, yeah, just talking about heat indexes,
Right.
not the actual
Right.
temperature. You couldn't fry an egg on the asphalt or anything, but
Right.
it was warm.
Yeah.
But luckily we got to have that. And
And I just talked to we just recorded another podcast earlier today, and so I don't know if it'll come out before this one or after it, but uh, we when they changed from Pennsylvania to Tulsa, we were like, okay, well, how much is that going to change our travel and that sort of thing? Changed it 5 minutes.
really,
Yeah, yeah. So we just had to deal with hot temperatures. It wasn't much different travel, just the different temperatures.
yeah. Pennsylvania had an air conditioned facility, but their state government was a
Right.
little bit more stringent than what some others were. So
Right.
it is what it is, and hey, and we'd go wherever it is. That's where we're gonna go.
Right. Yeah. And you're going to go with a newer outfit than what you had been with for a long time.
Yeah,
Now you've when Champion Hill and Paul Hill kind of retired and sold things, you guys there at Diamond T caught on, and now you're still there at Bedwell and on
yeah.
some of those farms, and talk about that just a bit.
Well, Diamond Tea Land and Cattle Company is owned by Matt Toller and his family, his wife Amy, his sons Reese and Miles. They had always had some club calf cows. I guess their starting the Angus business started with the Champion Hill dispersal, and that's how Diamond Tea really took off with the Angus cattle right out of the gate in some really good purchases
Mm-hmm.
on some different cows
Mm-hmm.
and some embryos and pregnancies.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those embryos and pregnancies were Georginas,
Mm-hmm.
but I did some consulting uh, for Matt at that time and
Mm-hmm.
kind of steered him in the right direction. He wanted some embryos, wanted some pregnancies, he wanted some donors, and then he needed a really good herd bull.
Mm-hmm.
the donors that he was able to buy, one was Champion Hill Peg 5252,
Mm-hmm.
and she is an old 004 cow
Mm-hmm.
out of a Saugahatchee out of TC Peg 9100. I think he bought her when she was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
She's had several progeny. She's done really well flushing for us. She's the mother of the a Bismarck heifer that was reserve champion at the Junior National in 2011
Mm-hmm.
and was always one of my favorite cows.
Mm-hmm.
That old peg 5252 was. Another cow that he purchased was Champion Hill Blackbird 8411, and she's sired by SAV Perfection, and that Blackbird cow was going to be the next upcoming big time donor at Champion Hill, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was able to purchase her, and he was also able to purchase another cow that was a Bismarck Georgina. Her number is 9039, and she's a full sib to a cow that Mandy Richardson was very successful showing
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, and that was her number was 72561.
Mm-hmm.
Got the extra digits. We always called her the license plate cow, and she herself was reserve show heifer of the year.
Mm-hmm. I
I'm rambling
remember
on
her.
about these three cows, and we don't have any of their progeny in this sale. but we will in the future.
Right.
Well, I guess we do have one
Yep.
9039 donor.
Yep.
I'll correct myself there. Got those cows purchased. The herd bull that we picked out was Champion Hill Renown. He was Renowned son out of the Georgina family.
Mm-hmm.
He actually traces back. He's out of a SAV Mandan daughter, back to a Peacemaker, back to the Denver champion 2121.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he was a great blend of power and performance with the Renown on the top side, with the femininity and maternal traits that the Georginas gave on the bottom side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how Diamond T got its start from Champion Hill. I didn't start at Diamond T until about 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and Matt and I came to an agreement on what kind of we wanted to do with this operation, where we wanted to kind of go, where we wanted to be headed, and the agreement came pretty fast. We want really good cattle.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we want. We want really good cattle,
Mm-hmm.
and genomics and the numbers aren't everything,
Mm-hmm.
but they're important.
Mm-hmm.
The phenotype, we're not going to sacrifice. We're not going to sacrifice one thing for the other. We want real good cattle with an honest set of numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not going to single trait select anything.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to try to breed good cattle that milk good, number one, with high quality udders, and those high quality females. That's what's gonna we feel is gonna propel us into the next several years and hopefully several decades.
Mm-hmm.
Just focusing on that cow family and focusing on some of our favorite cows.
Right.
And so it's not all Champion Hill on the bottom side of all of
Mm-hmm.
our pedigrees. We went out together. We have made some other purchases on some other cows. We made some purchases of some embryos, and kind of started from there on some of the cows that I've always looked up to, some of the cows that I've always admired.
Mm-hmm.
We have a really good Forever Lady cow that's going to be pretty big in our program. We have two really good black cap cows that are going to certainly play an important role in our program. They're both going to play an important role in this particular sale.
Mm-hmm.
Made a really good purchase, I feel, on a Sarah's Dream cow. She's a half sister to Primo
Mm-hmm.
that is just doing a fantastic job for us. And we've got some Sandys that are coming down the pipeline, and we've got some pretty good Sandy cows, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other cow families that I'd like to get a part of too. It's
Mm-hmm.
just everybody else bidding against us. So
Right. And that's what you like to build around. You like to build around those cow families.
I think it's all about the cow.
Right.
All about the cow. She has to have a good udder. She has to milk. She has to raise a good calf. Our donors on this farm don't raise dinks. Our donors, they raise as heavy a weaning weight calf as what a recep's going to raise, and
Mhm.
that's I think the way that it should be.
Right.
That cow has to raise a good calf. So our donors, we try to now. Not all of our cows look alike.
Mhm.
We do different things with different cows.
Mhm.
Ultimately, we don't have that, I guess, that herd, that good commercial herd that you'll see out there with 100 cows that all look alike. We have different cows, different cow families for different purposes
Mhm.
in mind.
Mhm.
And we try to mate those cows accordingly to try to help them,
Mhm.
try to, you know, make the best ones that we possibly can.
Right. Before we get away from it too much, let's talk about your family foundation, female there with you and Melissa.
I can't really say enough about Melissa, about what she does for us.
Mhm.
She is our rock, and she is our support system, and she does so much here at the Davis household. It's crazy. She's got 3 kids, me and included. I'm the biggest one, and
Right.
um, then of course we have Maggie and we have Logan,
Mhm.
and that's my show barn help.
Mhm.
Actually, Maggie helps me with some office work, and Logan, he manages the cat herd
Mhm.
out at Diamond T, and no, but they're the show barn help. Uh, I'd said there earlier, talking with somebody earlier there this summer. I said, you know, this COVID thing where shut the schools down and shut everything else down. I said, this summer and coming in this fall too, this is the most broke set of cattle I think that I've ever shown
Mhm.
anywhere.
Mhm.
I've seen lots of shows where not a single one gets away,
Mhm.
so then, and the kids, they've been out there with me working, and well,
Right.
all summer they chose to do sports, and so they went to in-person school, but we'll see how much longer that lasts. You never know
Right.
with our governor here in the state. So,
I think every state is probably thinking the same thing.
yeah,
We could go on with that for hours, but we better stick to cows and stories. You think?
that's right. We can do that.
Probably be best. So
Yeah.
last time we talked, you guys were getting ready for a spring sale, and you were getting ready for two spring sales, the one on SC and the one on Angus Live,
Uh-huh.
and I was on both of them and watched both of them, and looked to be very successful sales, and you've had some cattle come out of there do well.
Yeah. Yeah. The Angus Live sale, the heifer that led that deal off ended up being purchased. She was a
Mm-hmm.
blue chip Sandy heifer that she was purchased by Jillian Moffett in Colfax, Iowa. And they they did a really good job with that heifer. She's got a piece of her division several times, and I think it's gonna keep getting better and make a quite a productive female for them. And they've still got a whole nother year to show.
Mm-hmm.
So they did really well with her in the SC sale. We sold club calf bred type heifers and a couple of keys and some key Angus, and then we sold several Angus in that sale as
Mm-hmm.
well. The Helmke family from Ohio, they participated in our virtual show that we had.
Mm-hmm.
We had a virtual show there last spring that was received pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And so they participated in that and got some sale credit in in some of in their winning there. And actually, I think I'm not for sure how much they invested in their heifer. Not very much
Mm-hmm.
because of the sale credit, but she was just recently named a class winner at the North American.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty excited, pretty happy for that family as well.
Right. Use that sale credit that you guys did. You guys did that virtual show last year, and you're not doing one for this sale, but hopefully you don't have to, but you do one in the spring if you do another spring. But
If they shut down all these shows, we'll certainly do another virtual show.
right.
I think that I know there's been a lot of differences and opinions about them,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody that participated in ours, we got a good response,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just something to have, just something for the kids to do to go have fun,
Mm-hmm.
to try to make, to try to do something a little bit closer to normal.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, that was back in March and March or early April.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of uncertainty at that time.
Right.
We
Yeah.
went from a time of uncertainty to a time of who the heck knows.
right.
That's what I call it.
Right. Yeah, and some of us enjoyed that show, and some of us even tried to use our credit, and some
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that's right.
So that was
That's
great.
right. We
Yeah.
had several people use credit.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what it's there for. If there's no shows, we might try that again or some other promotional thing that we might all have fun with. We'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah. Well, that'll be great.
Yeah.
We talked for several. I don't know how long we talked and told stories and as many. I mean, as many times as you've been on the road and as many years as you went on the road and I mean, you had to be gone. I don't know. What were you gone? A quarter of the time, a quarter of the year? You think maybe
Way too much.
by the time it all added up and some stories even there at home and I just remember just rolling last time when we got done with that podcast and you started telling stories and I think just think if we could I think we ought to share some of those if you will and you know some of the things that we can share about those stories because we all know that there's those stories that you can't share everything about but
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
will you tell the one
Well, I mean,
will you tell the one about you were working with Paul and you had a cow that wasn't real happy with what you guys were doing and one minute you had a sorting stick and the next minute you didn't.
well, there's this old yellow and white Simmental cow that we used as a recip, and she'd calved at the back of the farm in the corner of the pasture underneath the shade tree. And Paul said, I think we can tag that calf. We'll just go back there, get me and you and Lenny Blosser, and we'll just go back there and tag that calf. And I told Paul, I said, it's okay if if we have a calf on that farm that has no tag, because it could just be the no tag calf. And Paul said, well, what if he loses? What if he loses his tag? I was like, well, then it's the no tag calf with a hole in its ear. But he insisted that we go back there and tag that calf. So Lenny was driving. Me and Paul, we were sitting in a single cab old Chevy truck that we had. And Paul's like, here's how we're going to do it. Lenny's going to drive back there, go in at an angle, block that calf into the corner. You grab this sorting stick. We're going to me and you are going to hop in the bed of the truck. And I'm going to hop over and tag that calf. And you just start beating on that cow and keeping her off of me. Well, it all happened so fast. Lenny pulls up in the corner at an angle. Me and Paul hop out in the back of the truck. Next thing you know, the cow busts out the tail lights, comes over the top of the tailgate, She's in the back of the truck with us. Paul grabs the sorting stick out of my hand, hits her 5 or 6 times, and then just throws it at her. So I jump up on the cab of the truck and jump up into the tree, and I'm hanging from a tree branch, and here's Paul coming behind me, and he's yelling at Lenny to drive away, drive away. Lenny doesn't drive away. He's down there rolling up the windows and locking the doors. And like like she could open the door.
Right.
So Lenny finally drives away and we drop down drop down on the cab of the truck and get out of there, and then Paul just said, "Hey, I think that's just going to be the no tag calf."
You just you just had to make it his idea, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that's that story about how I'm almost not here.
Oh, that's funny. I'm sure you probably got a few of those.
Oh yeah, there's lots of those. So I was just telling the story at the North American there several years ago. Somebody had they asked Paul Hill. Well, Champion Hill had taken 32 head down there that fall,
Oh, wow.
and they asked Paul, like, why in the world would you bring 32 head to Louisville? He said, well, they're just all so darn good. We didn't know which one was going to win.
That seems like to be in Paul Hill fashion.
And he didn't have to clip them or fit them.
Right. That's
Those
what.
boys will take care of that. And so we could have probably weeded it down,
Hmm. Right.
thinned it out a little bit. Oh well, that
Oh,
was several years ago.
yeah. Then one year, what you had 6 head in the same division one year.
Yeah, this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, that was this year. That was my call.
Hmm.
But they were all just so good we didn't know which one was going to win.
How many times did you use that?
This is the first time I've used it because
I mean, when you were down at Louisville, did you use it a
oh
couple
yeah,
times when they
several
asked you?
times. Several times.
Oh, shoot.
Actually, one time we were in Tulsa in 2007 at the Junior National, and see, we'd started breeding cattle to calve at different times of the year
Hmm.
because and I always thought this, like, on an Angus heifer it doesn't matter when she's born.
Hmm.
A good one's a good one.
Hmm.
And like if I'm judging a show, like I don't automatically use the junior champion
Right.
like a lot of people do. I'm a sucker for those senior champions,
Hmm.
and I tell you what, if you got an intermediate or a senior calf or a junior calf, I just I think you just pick the best one.
Hmm.
Huge fan of the cow calf thing though. I like to see those, like the cow calf shows. I like the senior yearlings with the calves at sign. I like to see those females in production.
Hmm.
But with that being said, we have a diamond T in the summertime as well. We have several places that we calve these Junes and July calves
Hmm.
just to have some more females that are different ages, and because we're not set on what time of the year that they have to calve
Hmm.
for us. Well, anyway, same thing held true there at Champion Hill. One of the first years, which would have been 2007, I guess, that we had a whole bunch of July heifers.
Hmm.
And we'd sold a whole bunch of July heifers in our spring sale, and 10 of them showed up and came to the Junior National. We fit and clipped and got all 10 of those heifers ready, and they were all 10 in the same class.
Hmm.
And there were 11 total in that class. And I said, and I didn't know the people that had that other heifer looking on the class break. We walked down to the ring. we were looking around, and here come this number of the kids that have this other heifer in our class, and I was like, well, shoot, got 10 heifers in this class, and the best, there are 10 out of the 11 heifers in the class, and the best we're going to do second. Yep, we were second through 11th on that one.
Oh no.
Hopefully that won't happen again.
Right.
That's probably not a good story for me to be telling.
It's in the past.
That's past.
It's in the past.
It's a
Yeah.
whole new deal right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Future's looking bright.
Right. There was one other story. We got to talking about having time to get all these cattle fit, and you guys had a couple of them like bang 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 bang, and one of them didn't get very much attention.
Uh-huh.
You remember that story?
Which
You
were
you brought her in. You got her enough in the chute to rub her hocks down and clean the mulch off of her.
Yeah. On 4402?
I think so.
Yeah, she was reserve champion that day at the All-American Fraternity. Me and Nate Campbell fit her in 5 minutes. Maybe less. Yeah. We put glue in her legs, and then we just kind of had to press the hair down on her hocks and press it down on her knees and just send her to the show ring. Yep. She was a reserve grand at the All-American Fraternity and also reserve grand at North American.
Oh wow! How many hours do you spend on all these others? And it just so happens that happens.
She's she's actually the grandmother of a heifer in this sale.
Okay. Yeah.
4402.
Good.
Yeah,
Good enough to win it with just a little bit of fit job, right?
that's right. That's right.
Well, that's great.
They don't have to all be fit perfect.
Right.
Sometimes I catch myself, especially there in the past, of trying to get them too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta say good enough
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
walk away from it. But the tools that young people have now, growing up and learning how to fit cattle,
Mm-hmm.
clip and fit, oh my gosh,
Right.
it has improved so much
Mm-hmm.
compared to whenever I was growing up learning.
Mm-hmm.
All I had was a set of sheep heads and a set of flat heads.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just try not to cut their leg off with the sheep heads. But the combs and the tools and all the products, oh wow, it's night and day.
Right. Makes it so competitive.
Oh, it's so highly competitive. There's so many really, really highly talented people out there that are getting these cattle ready at shows. It's amazing to sit and watch some of these classes like we just saw at the North American. Got a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of hair on these cattle, and people can work wonders.
Mm-hmm.
They really they had them looking good, and they can do just a fantastic job with them.
Right.
And there's a lot of places, thanks to our show suppliers that are putting on different fitting clinics and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. Every time you turn around, they're really making these kids, making them good,
Right. Right.
making them good. Pretty neat to watch. My kids awfully excited about getting to fit on one.
Right. Right. And learning from somebody else, not dad, because he doesn't know what he's doing, right?
Nothing. No, he doesn't know anything at all. They trust me. They trust me a little bit on clipping,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes to showmanship,
Mm-hmm.
both Melissa and myself, we know nothing. Yeah, you guys don't know how to do that. Or it's the old, well, that's what I was doing. No, it wasn't. We're videoing that.
Right. Yep. I've used
Got
that
you on the video
myself.
on the phone. Nope, that's not it.
I've used that myself. She says no, and I said, yeah. Watch this.
I think that just goes along with being a parent.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it's showing cattle or pigs or whether you're shooting a jump shot correctly.
Right.
I don't think mom or dad knows anything.
No. No. I want to get your opinion on one thing, and we haven't even talked about this, so this is totally off the cuff. Before we get into these heifers, we're talking about all the fitting and that sort of thing. What's your thought on the no fitting this past summer at the like the Eastern Regionals and Junior Nationals?
Well, you know, it I guess it saves some time
Mm-hmm.
on old dad here, and we were able to get those cattle up and get them fly sprayed and sheened and
mm-hmm.
everything up to the ring. We still did a lot of hair working,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that I guess it made it a little bit more convenient, but I'm for the fitting
Mm-hmm.
just because several reasons. Like if you'd asked my son, Logan, who's 10 years old, and well, both of my kids are going to say two favorite contests at the Junior National. And Logan's going to say team fitting and then CAB cook-off.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie's going to say CAB cook-off, then team fitting.
Mm-hmm.
And they've each participated on the Ohio team once
Mm-hmm.
on the team fitting,
Mm-hmm.
but they think about that and they're interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
I say let the kids fit, and is kind of my opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wouldn't have had the career that I've had if it wasn't for me being able to fit
Mm-hmm.
whenever I was younger.
Okay.
That I mean, that's probably what helped me get my job to start with,
Mm-hmm. Right.
on that.
Right.
I thought it was 6 to 1 and a half dozen to another
Right.
there like this summer, but I'm more for the fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Just let them fit.
Okay.
I'm almost afraid, or I don't really want it to change type and kind
Mm-hmm.
on what we're selecting and breeding for,
Mm-hmm.
because I honestly think that these Angus heifers that we're showing in the summer are hairy enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want people selecting for any more hair
Mm-hmm.
on those Angus heifers than what we already have.
Right.
And a good haircut can go a long ways and help you,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but ultimately you want them hairy as babies, but you want them to be able to slick off as cows,
Right.
go out and forage and get bred back.
Right.
I don't want it to de determine how we start selecting cattle,
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I don't know if I mean we have been selecting for hair
Mm-hmm.
here of recent past,
Right.
and the cattle we had probably 20 years ago that we thought were really hairy wouldn't
Right.
be very hairy right now.
Right. No, I don't think so either.
But things change,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to be able to adapt to those changes. I kind of like to stay kind of in the middle of the road,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully that pendulum, whenever it's swinging, it'll hit you twice.
Right.
And that's kind of the way that I've always looked at it, you know, trying to select for those cattle like that are Goldilocks genetics. That's why I'm try to not single trait select. And I think if we try to like the really, really good uddered ones
Mm-hmm.
and the really feminine, refined, more maternal looking cows, they're probably not going to be the hairiest cows,
Right.
but not saying I don't have some really hairy ones.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know,
Right.
we're a little bit more diversified
Mm-hmm.
on some things. I'm because we breed, you know, we do a lot of IVF reverse sort for females,
Mm-hmm.
and then we do a lot of, or we do several IVF conventionals or some conventional flushes on. It just depends on the sire that we kind of want some bulls.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, we have several bulls for sale at Diamond T.
Mm-hmm.
Come and see us. Private
Right.
treaty, price to sell.
Right. That sounds good.
But
Yeah, no spring bull sale
that's
yet,
how
huh?
we market our bulls right now is private treaty sales, and
Right.
we can take you out there in the lot and not the same. We have several full sisters and full brothers. Uh, that the sisters have been very successful show heifers, and then we've got some that we're keeping back on those females to make cows, and got some performance bulls that are a little
Mhm.
bit more orientated that way.
Mhm. No spring bull sale yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. Okay.
Not yet. Like I said, there's probably been too many reverse sorted female
Right. Right.
embryos for a
Right.
spring bull sale yet.
But you do have this sale coming up here on December 7th on Angus Live, and
Yes.
and you've got 11 lots in this sale. And
Yes.
and as I mentioned earlier, what a set of genetics, and like I said, I haven't even seen them yet, but man, I can't wait to. And they all start out, uh, or they all come with like I said, quality genetics, and we start out with a big one here. It's the lot one, the Sarah's Dream.
Yeah, she's a July heifer, and Diamond T Sarah's Dream 0206. She's a daughter of Tradition of 24 that came from the Sturtzball program, and her mother is Sarah's Dream 5308. She's a Silvera's Watchout out of the famous Sarah's Dream 1339 cow.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes her a half sister to Primo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this mating has really, really worked well for us. We have a full sister already in production with a really nice udder and nursing a good calf at side. And she was a successful show heifer herself for Reese Toller, Matt's son, and a member of our crew here at Diamond T. I think this heifer, she is super, super feminine fronted, and just combines that with mass and weight per day of age and a huge rib cage and tons of volume, and just a really neat way to start out the sale.
And you say she's just a July.
She is. That's what we've got. 9 of these heifers are summer born heifers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have several Julys
Mm-hmm.
in this group.
Okay.
Whole new division at junior nationals. That's getting into your late intermediates
Right.
at the junior national, and I think we have a good set of these here
Mm-hmm.
that are going to be um, oh going to go out and do pretty well. They're for the people that want to purchase these things, because they're going to be in a different division here right off the bat in
Mm-hmm.
that intermediate division. Good set of heifers,
Right.
and a really good way to start it off with the Sarah's Dream heifer.
Right. The lot two, we got a March Primo.
Yeah. So lot 2 is the 0102 heifer. She's a primo daughter, and she is out of a cow that when Matt and I went out to Oklahoma to Conley's, we found this heifer that actually Conley had bought from Baldridge Tiedemann.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, in turn, was reselling her as a bred heifer.
Mm-hmm.
And she was our pick of all the bred heifers. And she was an SAV Momentum daughter out of a Traveler 6807 daughter from the Black Cat family.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to purchase her, and that's 107E. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the mother of this heifer. Now, we loved her so much that we also saw that Baldridge Tiedemann was selling her full sister, 97E,
Mm-hmm.
in their sale later on that fall. So we purchased her as well.
Wow.
So we've got the 2 full sibs, 107E and 97E, that roundabout way made their way here to Bidwell, Ohio, and they're doing a tremendous job for us.
Mm-hmm.
And this heifer here, the 107E daughter, just super, super extended, super loose in her movement to just the right point of looseness and softness and soundness. I think this heifer, she's green,
Mm-hmm.
but she has a ton of potential.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't, we weren't able to market her any sooner than now, just because uh, our fall sale was all club calves
Right.
and mainly steer based,
Mm-hmm.
and we felt like she fit better into this sale,
Mm-hmm.
along with another one of her sisters. So that's a really nice heifer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be very competitive.
Right. And speaking of Conley, the Lot 3 comes out of the Conley Express.
Yeah. Yep. 0207 is the lot 3. She's a Conley Express out of the Sarah's Dream cow again.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about cow families, and one of the reasons or one of the reasons why we choose different bulls is what cows they're out of.
Mm-hmm.
What cow family is he? Well, Express is a Sandy, and he goes back to that Cabin Creek Sandy 804 cow that's just really knocked out some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And this this cow on the bottom side, is a Sarah's Dream, so you're really
Wow.
mixing
Mm-hmm.
together that Sarah's Dream and that Sandy family, and she's a pretty special heifer. Real straight in her lines, really loaded with potential, and just keeps getting better every day, and will continue to do so after the sale.
Two of the dominant cow families in the show ring right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Speaking of dominant again, we go to the Lot 4. She's a primo.
Yep, another primo. This one, however, she is out of a shadow cow, 7265, and this heifer is a full sib to a heifer that my daughter showed. It was her bred and owned heifer. She showed her in 2018 and 2019. She came right out the gate in 2018 and was reserve champion heifer at the Eastern Regional. And then in 2019, we took her to the Junior National in Louisville, and she was fifth overall in the Bred and Owned Heifer show. And then we took her to the state fair, well, the Ohio State Fair, and she was champion Angus in both open and junior shows, and then was fifth overall
Mm-hmm.
in the Supreme Heifer Drive. And among other winnings, so my daughter Maggie had a really good time showing that heifer,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a full sister to her. So an opportunity right here to buy a full sister to a well-proven champion.
Purple in the pedigree, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Comes from the Shadow family that has just been so successful
Mm-hmm.
in the show ring, and there's not many of those out there.
Right.
They're they were mostly I know Holly Gamble had quite a few of them, and Champion Hill produced quite a few of them, but those shadows they've racked up some banners over the years,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and we'll be having lots more in the future.
Good. Good.
Lots more of those shadows coming down the pipeline.
Look forward to those.
Yeah,
The Lot 5, another primo, black cap.
yeah. Now this is a primo. She's a March primo, and the black cap on the bottom side of her pedigree is 9070. This is the one that I bought from Jake Tiedemann.
Mm-hmm.
This heifer is the biggest rib, most bold sprung heifer I've ever been around.
Hmm.
Tremendously big ribbed and bold sprung, huge hipped, just loaded full of muscle. I would like to sweeten her up and change her front end up, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a heifer right here that I think is one of those heifers that I consider like she's probably not going to be the greatest show heifer in the world because um, she's going to be criticized for not being as long in her front end.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, this one's one generation away from having a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Like the progeny out of this thing is going to be something pretty special, I think.
Right.
And we've got several primo daughters in production, and they're milking good, and they're making some nice young cows.
Mm-hmm.
They're all out of cows that milk good too.
Right.
I know
Right.
his milk EPD is a little bit lower, but we've mated him to cows with some good milk EPDs on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and with just in person good quality udders.
Mm-hmm.
That's helped it out.
Right. I
Yeah,
agree.
because like her mother's a plus 29 on milk,
Wow.
and in mating primo to her, like her individual milk's an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Which yeah, sure, that's not a 24, but that's not bad.
Right.
But
Right.
her mother milks good and has a big udder, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's just going to be a fantastic female later on down the line. Probably not a great sales pitch whenever I'm criticizing the cattle a little bit, but it is what it is, and they are what they are.
No, that.
But I see some different things in 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 these heifers. Well, I see
Right.
them every day.
Right. Right.
See all kinds of different things that I get really excited about.
Right. I think people appreciate the honesty, though. You know.
Yeah,
So they are all different, and they're not all great. The lot six, we go back. We got another black cap here.
another black cap out of the 107E black cap, and this is an express out of her that has some incredibly straight lines, straight topped, nice headed, just a nice functional female that's just really eye appealing with a little bit extra pizzazz.
Mm-hmm.
The Sandy family coming from Express worked good on that black cap family
Mm-hmm.
again. Those black caps are just cranking out good ones no matter what they're bred to.
Right. Good cows do that, right?
That's right.
Right. Right. We've got a one out of the bull that you guys bought from Champion Hill, correct? Here in Lot 7.
So the next one, uh, she is out of our herd sire, our natural service sire, Champion Hill Renown. And so he in turn he's a Georgina,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the mixture of, like I said previously, of the Renown and the Georgina family. You know, some power and performance, and then some maternal genetics right there. Then on the bottom side, this heifer, she's a Georgina, and she's out of a Bismarck, out of your favorite fit job cow, 4402. And so 9039 is the cow that Diamond T had bought in the Champion Hill dispersal. And 9039, her full sister 72561, and she was actually ROV show heifer, reserve show heifer of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and won quite a few different shows from Andy Richardson along the way in their show career together. But uh, this heifer right here, she's a June. She is super super feminine, super refined in her maternal characteristics, and just kind of puts everything together in a really really nice package. Sure, she's probably not as stout as what like the Primo 97E is,
Mm-hmm.
and she probably doesn't have as much bone and mass as what uh, in terms of bone as what some of the other heifers coming up soon have, but she just kind of puts everything together in a really really great maternal package.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd love to have a whole field full that look just like her.
Right.
So we'll see. Just Just depends on if somebody is willing to go with a double bred Georgina.
Right.
But the 419 all goes way back. But
Mhm.
then again, some of the good ones are some of the good ones go back to the same cattle.
Right.
I think
Right.
Sagahatchee went back to emulation 31 several times
Mhm.
in his pedigree. So
Right. Yeah, and how successful the Georgina's been.
they've been
Yeah.
pretty successful.
Exactly. Right. Right.
Pretty successful.
Go go back to a shadow here on lot 8.
Yeah, so like I'd mentioned earlier with another heifer, um, I criticized the heifer a little bit for not being as sweet through her front end.
Mhm.
And this is the same instance.
Mhm.
This heifer here, she's out of Sandstorm, and Sandstorm is a primo son out of the Cabin Creek Sandy 804 cow. So you're mixing together that Sandy family with the Shadow family.
Mhm.
Really, really good mixture. And this heifer is stout.
Mhm.
I mean, thick topped, huge barreled. She's just got so much capacity. She has some leather on her front end that you'd like to take away from her,
Mhm.
and I don't know what else you would change about
Mhm.
her.
Mhm.
Super, super square, super big boned. Um, yeah, I would I would change her front end up a little bit, but that's all I would change on that one.
Mhm.
That's a pretty that's a pretty good one right there that's going to make an amazing brood cow prospect.
Mhm.
So really excited to see how that one turns out.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get a whale of a cow right there with that one.
Mhm. Right. And that's what they need to. That's what where they need to end, right?
Yeah, yeah, she's not going to be the best show heifer in the world,
Right.
but boy, she's got a lot of potential on making one.
Mhm. Speaking of great cow families again, lot 9's another Georgina.
Oh yeah. So the Lot 9 heifer, she's sired by Coleman Bravo, which this is a mixture of the Coleman Donna family with the Georgina family.
Mhm.
And so we've used Coleman Bravo quite a bit and been very successful.
Mhm.
I think that we've produced several females that we've held back to make cows. This is our first time ever selling a Bravo heifer.
Mhm.
Most Well, we're a startup,
Right.
so
Right.
I'm we haven't sold too many of our top end heifers until now.
Mhm.
Well, I guess starting this spring we started selling some of our top end heifers once we started building up some numbers. But
Mhm.
this is one right here that I think is going to make a tremendous cow. She's refined, she's feminine, she's it's just hard to poke a hole in her. Just a really, really nice heifer.
Mhm.
And that blend on the Donna and the Georgina family worked out well. Her mother is a SAV sensation daughter,
Mhm.
and then her grandmother is the Georgina 8020 cow. And 8020 was one that the Cowles family down at Pleasant Hill Farms in Kentucky, them and the Woodruffs owned part of with Champion Hill. She was a Sagahatchee daughter out of 6518.
Mhm.
6518 is a Bismarck out of 2121. So there's a lot of good in the pedigree right there on the bottom side of that heifer.
Right. Right. How you guys remember all of those sometimes is breathtaking. But I
Am I
guess
shouting out? Am I spitting out too many
nope,
numbers?
nope, not at all.
Because
Um,
like some of them have uh, nicknames, and then some of them have numbers. There's like
right.
the license plate count, and there's
Mhm.
2121, and then like my daughter had last year, she had BB,
Mhm.
but my son had Fluffy and Petunia. So,
Oh
and
boy.
this and this year Maggie is a huge Harry Potter fan.
Mm-hmm.
So her bred-down heifer is Hermione,
Mm-hmm.
and Logan's heifer, her name's the Black Mamba. So,
That's
but
great.
I remember their numbers too.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I don't. I barely write good enough to write the numbers in their ears, let alone spell out the Black Mamba.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. Lot 10. We've got another black cap, and we've got another bull that you hear a lot about. PVF blacklist.
yeah. So we got a PVF blacklist here out of the 97 ECal. This is a heifer right here that's just no holes, just big bone, stout hipped, just kind of one of those heifers that you expect to see out of blacklist. And
Mm-hmm.
she's just a really nice heifer that I think that black cap cow has mixed well with the PVF blackbird family. You know, we've heard a lot of things out of those over the years, so I
Mm-hmm.
think that this one right here is, you know, awfully valuable genetic piece right here that somebody can take home and do awfully well with.
Mm-hmm.
These both the her and the next blacklist, they've got good bone, good substance. I think they're going to make a couple really good cows.
Mm-hmm. The lot 11. She's a lady.
Yeah. So the lot 11 cow, heifer, she's a blacklist out of a hot lotto lady
Mm-hmm.
that we own with Paige Burke from Missouri, and she goes back to an O'Reilly factor cow. But then down below that, the old top line lady, 9111,
Mm-hmm.
which was owned by Morgan Kramer, she was reserve grand at Denver.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what year, but a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, she was a Bismarck daughter that I believe she was out of a full sister to Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole lady family, that's where Hot Rod comes from.
Okay.
So the lady family has had quite an influence on the Angus breed. Just, Hot Rod was the sire of Style. I
Right.
think everybody's heard of Silvera's Style.
Right.
And the old lady cow, the very first cow that Paul Hill bought at Champion Hill was R&J Lady 1465.
Oh wow.
And you know the the way that these cattle breed, they're not quite as big as what she was.
Mm-hmm.
She might not have weighed 2,500 pounds, but she'd have probably weighed 2,485.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But these ladies, they add stoutness,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of substance. That heifer, lot 11, she's the biggest bone, stoutest boned, heifer in the whole offering that we're
Mm-hmm.
selling.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a lot of really good things to offer, and I think, and that's, we're pretty big fans of the lady cows here at Diamond T, and that's why we've got several of those ladies
Right.
that are putting an influence in our herd. And I think that we'll be having some more 7127 cattle coming down the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about some of the half sisters that are going to be coming out of that one, and I think Diamond T is going to have some pretty darn good ones there in the future.
That's good. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. Makes you want to keep pushing and keep going.
Well, I think that's what you got to do.
Right. Right.
You got
Exactly.
to keep doing that. Keep on keeping on,
Right. Yeah.
and pay attention to those cow families.
Right. Because cows are what gets it.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's what makes the good bulls great.
Yeah. Yeah. John, anything else we need to know about this sale or the cattle in this sale here on Angus Live, December 7th?
Well, besides that, we would love for we always welcome and love visitors, and we'd love a phone call. If any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a shout.
Mm-hmm.
And do I need to say the number?
Oh, you can if you want.
Okay, it was 740-645-7947. Give me a call, and we'd love to talk cattle with you,
Right.
or come and see us sometime. I know it's a great opportunity to get that early Christmas shopping out of the way.
Right.
If you don't like if you don't like Black Friday and you're not really into Cyber Monday, just hold off till December 7th, and we can find something to overfill your stocking.
Right. And you can do it
Another
all
thing,
cyber, right?
yeah, it's all cyber. It's just not exactly on Cyber Monday.
Right.
Well, it's on we'll just call it Cyber Monday, December 7th.
There you go.
One of the things that we want to add, I would like to add in as well, is or any lot that brings over $3,500, we are providing nationwide free shipping.
Mm-hmm.
We did that in the last couple of sales, and just wanted to go ahead and reiterate for each purchase over $3,500, you get free shipping.
Great. That's a great
Yeah,
service.
yeah.
Really good service, and I'm sure with some of the rates, that's that's really something to consider and look at.
I think that, yeah, if if anybody's had any cattle shipped across the country, or even from a few states away
Mm-hmm.
here recently, that's a little bit that's a pretty good benefit, I believe,
Right. Right.
and savings right there. So
Agree.
get her dropped off at your doorstep.
Sounds great. Sounds
On
great.
Maybe we get Santa Claus to deliver them like on Christmas Eve.
You're gonna have him stop in there and throw him in the sled.
Yep, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll have a special place for Rudolph and all the reindeer to land right behind the grain bin. They just
Oh boy.
got a good flat spot for them right there.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah,
I think this thing just went off the rail there, John.
yeah, probably so.
No, I enjoyed it so much. I've been looking forward to this one since we did the one in the spring, and just enjoy taking the time to talk to you and hearing about these great heifers, and I'm sure we'll be watching, and hope everybody else watches again there on December 7th on Angus Live. Uh, just
Yeah,
uh, just excited for you.
we'll get you some videos as soon as we get these things. Uh, get a good sunny day that
Hmm.
we can get get a video to you.
Right. Right. And these guys, if they
And
like the videos on Angus Live, you can also get them some more videos if they want some more info. You can do some of that.
most definitely, what we'll do is uh, you'll be able to go to Angus Live, view their pictures, view their videos, and then if somebody wants another cell phone video or
Hmm.
anything like that, just contact me, and I can get a quick cell phone video for you and visit with you and describe that heifer, and you can get all kinds of opportunities to look at whatever one you want to. We'd be more than happy to help you, and we'd love the phone calls or the texts and the conversation.
Right. Right. Well, that's great. Yeah. Doing a good job, John.
Hey,
And
thanks.
I know I appreciated the other two sales, and sure ready to watch this one.
Oh yeah,
So
it's always exciting to get good cattle out into good homes.
yes, it is. Yes,
Yep,
it is.
that's what it's all about.
Well, again, we want to thank our guest, John Davis of Diamond T Land and Cattle in Bidwell, Ohio. And again, their sale on Angus Live on December 7th. And John, want to wish you luck with that, and really want to thank you for joining me here on this edition of Before the Bid podcast.
Thank you very much, Andy. It was a pleasure again. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.